Welcome back into Good Morning Arkansas, everyone. This morning, we're joined by Eric Rittmeyer, former US Marine and an expert in the fields of mental toughness and emotional intelligence. Eric, we've had you on a couple of times, and I'm excited to talk to you today about some simple tips for relearning how to connect with people in this day and age where we're doing Zoom interviews and we're kind of doing a lot of things virtually. I'm sure it could be difficult, but I'm eager to hear these tips, what you have to offer us. So go ahead and jump into that first one for us.
Yeah, you know what's so crazy about this, Victoria, before we get started? Like, we live in this outrage culture, right? It's like everybody's so upset for no reason. We just get angry. Like, everybody gets offended so easily. And this was happening prior to the pandemic. So now, post-pandemic, I'd say we have to go back to pre-pandemic, but we kind of have to learn some new skills. So really simple stuff with connecting with people. The number one, the easiest one, the low-lying fruit, rediscover your sense of humor or develop a sense of humor, right? Let's just laugh, goofy, be silly. Like, I've gotten really good at dad jokes, right? Nobody can get upset with a dad joke. There's good. Just everybody wants to laugh. It's like the universal language we can all understand, and just being silly and goofy.
I do have to say, you mentioned dad jokes. Do you have one available to say right now?
Why don't they play poker in the jungle?
I think I know where this is going. Why?
Too many cheetahs.
But a perfect dad joke. Yes, that is a great first tip, Eric. I'm glad you had that on hand. All right, what's our second one you have today?
That's all I got. The next one's a little more difficult. Remember names. Okay, it's so powerful. Our name is the most beautiful word we ever hear. When somebody calls us by our name, it just sounds so wonderful. So the key is remembering the names, which is difficult to do. I have a hard time with this, right? So I put little rhymes in my head, right? So if I meet somebody, their name is George, it's gonna be like George, George, George of the jungle. So in my mind, I can remember it next time, right? But when you remember somebody's name and you use it, it's very powerful. It's an instant connection you have with that person. It just makes them feel like they really know you, like you really know them. And again, you took the time, you paid attention to remember their name.
Absolutely. All right, this third one coming up, I feel like should be a simple thing, but a lot of people tend to have difficulties with it. So what's our third one?
Become a professional listener. We're horrible at this. We listen with the intent to reply. We don't listen with the intent to understand. Guys, especially, I'll take one for the team here. Guys are not good at this. We just don't listen. We don't do it. You guys in television have to get really good at this, and you are experts in this because you have to listen long enough to formulate your reply. You want your follow-up questions as someone's talking, as a guest on air is talking, but you also have to listen after you formulated that reply. Normal people, 99% of us, we listen just long enough to get our reply. Then everything that happens after that's just Charlie Brown talk. And then we wait for that millisecond to jump back in and just come back with the reply. Then we listen, formulate a reply, and we don't listen anymore. It's a horrible cycle.
It can be a cycle. And yeah, I like how you mentioned the Charlie Brown, the womp, 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 womp. Now I'm kind of internalizing a little too much. I'm sitting here thinking, am I listening enough? Am I not listening enough? But I think it moves us nicely into our next tip, which is
don't get distracted in conversation. Everything is a distraction these days. The funniest thing to me, Victoria, it's like you go out with somebody, sit down, and they take their cell phone. They're like, oh, let me put this on vibrate, right? They set on the counter. It's constantly like this. Like, that's not good enough, right? Take the phone, put it away, leave it in the car, put it in your pocket, put it away. If you want to get somebody's full attention, put that phone away and watch what happens, because they know we don't leave our phones for more than 2 seconds. So we put that away. It tells the person, you know what? I'm all about you. I'm not getting distracted by anything. I'm 100% emphasis on you.
Yes, and you took one on behalf of the men earlier. I'll take one on behalf of the younger generation. We're so bad about staring at our phones constantly. I have 2 phones I'm looking at as we're doing this interview. To be fair, it's for the job. I'm not being distracted, but it gets the point across. All right, Eric, our last tip today. What's that number 5?
It's expand our emotional vocabulary. So here's the issue. We go through life, we go through school, we memorize, regurgitate, we get thrown out into the workforce. We're not taught any type of emotional, interpersonal skills. Somebody says something we don't like, and what do? We react emotionally as opposed to responding logically. To expand our emotional vocabulary means that we're able to connect with people instead of saying I'm angry or I'm mad. You might find other ways to say, like, I'm upset because, or this frustrates me. It's just a way to connect with somebody else, to use these bigger emotional words, because again, we're hardwired to feel first and think later. We're all emotional creatures. We're just different variations of the same core psychological blueprints. We want happiness, kindness, peace, empathy. These are all basic things we can do. Just Hakuna Matata, go out there and spread some love. It's real simple.
Such good tips to hear from you, Eric, on connecting with people. If our viewers at home want to hear more on what you have to say or reach out to you and just maybe connect with you, where can they do that?
So nice, you, Victoria. Thank you. My website's best, mentaltoughnessspeaker.com. I'm all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'd love to hear from everybody. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Eric Rittmeyer for us. Thank you so much for coming on. And hey, we'll see you next time. And I love connecting with you. I do have to say, we'll have more Good Morning Arkansas after this break.